Okay, so I'm going to start the dye process here. First thing I'm going to do is, because this is a soft wood here, this pine, I'm going to use some wood stain, some wood conditioner, not wood stain, some conditioner. This is just going to help that when I go ahead and start putting the stain on, or anything on, if you're going to use it, if you're going to put a stain on, or you're going to put a dye on, whatever it is, it's just going to help it, it's going to help it absorb more evenly, right? So I'm just going to make sure that I got this coated nice and evenly everywhere. Take a look, looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to flip it over. Go ahead and hit my sides, although my sides usually, this side grain, end grain, it usually soaks up pretty heavily in these dyes. So it probably doesn't need this as well, but I do think it helps get it more evenly distributed. So just want to make sure I've got it. Now I'm going to start this dye on the back side. So most of what we're going to do first is going to be on the back. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the conditioner on, because I'm going to put a layer of black down first, and then I'm going to sand that back off. The black is going to go down, and hopefully the effect that I'm going to get from that is that the black is going to get into this grain, and it's going to help this grain really pop out. So I'm going to put the black on. I'm going to dye the whole thing black. It's probably going to look terrible. It's going to look like I just ruined everything when I do it. But we're going to put that on, and then I'm going to sand it right back off. And we're going to see what that does. So anyway, all right, step one complete. This particular wood stain, I really like the Minwax stuff. I'm going to turn my gloves inside out and lay them here so I can reuse them in a minute. This Minwax, I believe it says 5 to 10 minutes or something to let it soak in. We'll do that, then we'll come back and we'll do the dye. Okay, so gonna go ahead and put the black down first and sand it off. I'm using this Angelus leather dye. It's less expensive than some of the guitar dyes. It works great. I've used it a number of times before. I am not going to dilute it or anything on here, which with the black, you know, I mean, it's not really gonna make that big a difference. I'm just gonna apply it with a couple of cloth rags. Going to just fold it over a couple of times, get myself a nice place to do it. I'll be careful not to spill. There we go. Probably a little bit too much on there. I'll just... All right, so we sanded it back off, and you can see here, looks a little bit dark there, but if you look at the front, certainly going to give us a little bit more of a burst pattern. There's some areas where it certainly took the black deeper, and I kind of liked it like that. I like it light in the middle and dark on the edges, because we're going to do kind of a burst. So we're going to start on the back. I like to start on the back because if I mess it up, what difference does it make? It's the back, right? So I can sand it back off and try again. So I'm going to do a red burst on this. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I've got Angelus red dye. I think it should be pretty dark when it comes out. So I'm going to start with doing red pretty much all over, and then I'm going to go along the edge with a thin black line and fade it in. So we'll start with the red. I'm going to get a clean spot on this. It's my favorite part probably of all this stuff. I'm not very good at it, but really like watching it come out. So let's see how it works with this black on here. Okay, pretty bright red there. So pretty good going up to the edge. I I like this color red. This is nice and pretty. All right, so more. My rag is already picking up a little bit of black as I go, so I want to be careful with that and keep turning it so that I'm not spreading too much black. I kind of want to work from the inside out here. If I don't get all the way to the edge, that's all right because it's going to be black. I'm trying not to get too much black on my rag because I picked up a lot a minute ago. I probably should have let these dyes dry a little bit more before I moved on to this phase. But to be honest with you, I just want to kind of move on with this guitar. So I'm moving it as fast as I can. So now you can kind of look and see where you need more dye and where you don't. So as I kind of look at it, I can see darker spots and lighter spots. I'm going to go ahead and find a clean spot right there. I'm going to add a little bit more just pure red to the middle. Just kind of work my way out. I want to make sure I've got plenty of red in that center. That is really pretty so far. Very nice, I like it. The tricky part's going to come in a minute. So, all right. All right, so looks okay. Get some areas down here that need a little touching. This is always kind of a guesswork game. So I'm going to set this aside gently. I'm going to grab the black. I'm going to get a little bit fresh black on here. Just a touch, I don't need a lot. And what I want to do is I want to feather toward the outside in a really thin line. I want to keep this really small to start with. Because I don't want a big fade to this guitar here. I want this to be a pretty red guitar in total. I just want there to be a little bit of black around the edges. I want to see if I can keep my line getting better at this as I go along with these. I don't want too many big brush strokes out into the red yet. Okay, that looks all right. I got a couple little strokes there, but then I'm going to move back to my red. And I think I've got enough on here right now, but I might want to just add a little bit. And we'll just start, I just want to fade the black just a little. I just want to just fade those lines a little bit so that they look a little bit more natural. It's hard to see it as you're working on it sometimes. I just want it to fade. I don't want to work too far out into the guitar because if you do, then you got more fading to worry about out there. So I'm just going to keep working this edge, this line, as I go along here. I may need a little bit more dye in a minute, but I think I'm getting pretty good results. So let's see what we got. Yeah, it needs, see, it needs more black here, more black there. Faded the black too much on these spots, so we'll hit that again. And then over here, we'll hit it again, down around the edge. I'm gonna get some fresh red. I'm gonna repeat that. So now I'm gonna work with some fresh red from the center and try to fade that edge a little. Let's see if I can soften those lines and brighten up that center. Got a little bit of black in there again. I want that center to be nice and bright if I can. I think that is looking really pretty. So, I mean, again,